Did you hear the news? Did you hear that a brand new deck just dropped? The Macro Show. Did you see that crazy thing he did last week? That was wild.
This Cosmo Queen skill drain synergy is like amazing.
Yeah, your boss monster is Cosmo Queen. And now everyone's breaking the engine, you know. Cosmo Queen, Trihorn Dragon, the most popular cards in Edison format right now. And looking at those beautiful cards, all I could really focus on was their level. Level 8 monsters, go into the graveyard. That is an interesting condition to be fulfilled. It's a very interesting condition, and I am a simple man. Today, in Curse Tech, we are coming back to... God! Sorry. This card, it just makes me go a little berserk. We're looking at Berserk Dragon today. My original favorite card. Before Montage, before Rhynos, there was this guy. I don't really have too much to say besides the engine just fits pretty perfectly into the deck that Macro created. I mean, we're not playing Uriah. Here is the deck list if you would like to see it. And there's some spicy text that I've added in. I think Beast King Barbaros, if you do go with the skill drain route, I mean, skill drain is already great when you're playing normal monsters that don't have effects. But if you're already playing the skill drain, Barbaros is a pretty great card to pair with that. A 3000 attack normal summon with skill drain active is insane. And it also functions extremely well with advanced draw. It is a level 8 monster you can normal summon to kind of get your engine going if maybe you aren't finding the right piece. The other the other card I am forced to play is Vortex Trooper. I mean, I can't tell you how much Berserk Dragon loves me. That card shows up, not only one, both copies I play in my deck are in my opening hand every single game. I have no idea how this happens, but as a result, we're playing the Vortex Trooper. It's also good to kind of fix hands. You're so close to popping off, so just having a card like Vortex Trooper can make your engine run a bit smoother, and that is pretty necessary when you're throwing in a few extra bricks. Berserk Dragon is a really powerful card. He can lead to some silly OTKs, and let's see how well he slots in to this incredible deck that the Macro Show created. First game with the Berserk Dragon Macro Show deck, and are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? 2 Berserk Dragons in the opening hand? We're playing more than 40 cards, and I swear to God, in the last time I played Berserk Dragon, in the Berserk Dragon Revisited video, I think I drew this guy every single game. And now here we are. This is literally the first game I've played since that video, and he just shows up. I guess that's fine. We're going to set Barbaros, set 2, and pass our turn. My opponent's just going to set a monster in a back row and pass back to us. We draw the second skill drain. We're going to flip up the first skill drain, go into the battle phase, and declare an attack on their monster. It was a Treeborn Frog, but they're going to Treacherous Trap Hole their monster and my monster. But still in the battle phase, we can activate this Call of the Haunted. We'll bring back the Barbaros and get in for 3k damage. And then we're going to activate this Magic Planter, sending the skill drain. We draw 2 new cards, and then we're going to activate this Advanced Draw, which is a very cool addition to the deck. We're going to send the Barbaros and draw 2 more. And thankfully, we draw into Vortex Trooper. And putting 2 Berserk Dragons back in the deck it's just the best feeling in the world. I need to play this card in every Berserk Dragon deck going forward. And we draw 2 pretty good ones. We're going to use this Magic Planter. We draw 2 more. I definitely should have Summoners Arted first, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're going to add the Cosmo Queen to our hand, and then we're just going to set this Common Charity and the Skill Drain and pass our turn. 2 Deal with Dark Rulers are looking pretty nice. They're going to bring back the Treeborn Frog, normal summon a Substitoad, and use priority, and then we will chain the Skill Drain. Yeah, it'll be negated unless they had tributed itself, but because they tributed the Treeborn Frog, yeah, that guy just stays on the field. They're going to special summon a Swap Frog from their hand. They get in, and we will activate this common... Are you kidding me? 2! Why? Why does this happen to me? I was doing that in case I draw Tragonia. The Vortex Trooper puts the Berserk Dragons back in the deck. They just want to be in the hand. They love hanging out with me. They just come right back. So we're going to take 1,000, and the Vortex Trooper will let us draw a card, and that is a pretty good one. They're going to do this, and we draw the trade-in. We're going to use that trade-in, sending the Berserk Dragon. We draw 2 more cards, and we draw a trade-in and a Trihorn Dragon. We're going to draw 2. We're going to set a couple of back row and pass our turn. Also, we drew the 3rd Deal with Dark Ruler after we sent 1 Berserk Dragon to the graveyard. So funny. Okay, so they're going to tribute summon a Vanity's Fiend. And I could have not taken any damage, but I completely forgot that its effects are negated by Skill Drain. So we get really low for no reason, and then we're going to activate this card, and I realize I could have stopped all that damage. Also, we could have gotten in for more damage because this comes back in defense position, but you know, it's fine. It's just fine. We're going to attack over the Vanity's Fiend, and then we are just going to pass our turn. They're going to bring back the Treeborn Frog, double tribute for Light and Darkness Dragon. They can at least get over our monster, and then that also dies as well. And now we're just going to go into the battle phase and clear the Light and Darkness Dragon. They're going to bring back the Swap Frog, and then they draw for turn. They're going to Soul Exchange our Cosmo Queen. They bring out a Ryza, and then we will activate a Deal with Dark Ruler in the end phase to get out this Berserk Dragon from the deck. We normal summon the Beast King Barbaros, attack over the Ryza, get in. Game number 1 goes to Berserk Dragon. Game number 2, let's see what we can do. Our hand looks pretty good. Again, I mean, Skill Drain and Barbaros is quite good in itself. They're going to send a Treeborn to the graveyard, return the Swap Frog, and pass their turn. Okay. We activate Summoner's Art. This gets us a Cosmo Queen to our hand, and then we're just going to normal summon Barbaros, go into the battle phase, get in for 1,900 damage. This is kind of nice that Skill Drain Barbaros kind of plays around Gores, you know, because if they summon the Gores, you can just flip the Skill Drain and your guy's bigger than them. Anyway, we set 2 cards and pass. They summon the Treeborn Frog, and then they're going to tribute summon a Dark Dust Spirit, but we have the Skill Drain yet again. Our guy will go up to 3k. They're going to activate this enemy controller to switch it to defense and then clear our Barbaros, and then they are just going to pass their turn, and off the top, another Barbaros. We're just going to activate this Common Charity. We draw 2 cards, banish the Cosmo Queen, normal summon the Beast King Barbaros, go into the battle phase, clear the Dark Dust Spirits, set a back row, and pass our turn. My opponent brings back the Treeborn Frog. They're going to Soul Exchange yet again to tribute our Beast King Barbaros to summon out a Light and Darkness Dragon. But in the end phase, we can summon out the Berserk Dragon from the deck because that Barbaros was sent to the graveyard. We draw for turn. It is Escape from the Dark Dimension. We're just going to attack over this Light and Darkness Dragon, and then we're just going to set a back row and then pass our turn. They draw for turn. They're going to set a Dupe Frog and pass back to me, and then we're going to activate Magic Planter, sending the Skill Drain. We activate the Escape. It brings back the Cosmo Queen. We can attack 2 monsters with the Berserk Dragon because it's no longer negated by the Skill Drain, and then we can get in for 2,900 damage. And then setting Skill Drain and Solemn, I am feeling very good. They're going to bring back the Treeborn Frog, and then they are going to tribute summon a Ryza, but the Skill Drain will seal up game number 2. All right, match number 2 with the Berserk Dragon deck, and there it is, the Vortex Trooper. And look, no Berserk Dragon in the opener. I love to see it. We're going to use the Summoner's Art to get the Cosmo Queen. We're then going to use Trade-In, discarding the Trihorn Dragon to draw 2 fresh new cards. And then I do decide to normal summon this Vortex Trooper. I don't know if this was the right call, but I decided to put 2 Barbaroses back in the deck, and those draws are interesting, but I don't know how great they are. My opponent is going to special summon a Cyber Dragon, attack into our Vortex Trooper. We will take 2,100 damage, and we get to draw a card. There he is. Welcome, Berserk Dragon. It's good to see you. My opponent is going to activate this Gold Sarcophagus for a Cold Wave, set a back row, set 2 back row, and pass their turn. In the end phase, we can activate this Common Charity, drawing 2 and banishing the Cosmo Queen, and okay. We're just going to set a couple of cards, and the main deck, Royal Decree, is bad, but, like, we're not, like, entirely out of it, but it is bad. It is very bad. They're just going to attack us for 2,100, and a Tragodia off the top does not unbrick us, but it also means we might be able to survive. So we just pass our turn. They are going to get that Cold Wave to their hand. They're going to normal summon a Sangan and attack us for 1,000, and then we can drop the Tragodia. They pass their turn. We get a Summoner's Art, and I decide that we gotta just go for it. We activate the Summoner's Art. This gets a Cosmo Queen to our hands. We then activate this Advanced Draw, sending the Tragodia, and we draw 2 new cards. We're then going to normal summon this Beast King Barbaros and use another Advanced Draw to draw 2 more again, and then we're going to activate this Escape from the Different Dimension. Although it is negated, we can still activate it, so we can use the Magic Planter, so that is nice. We draw 2 again, we draw into a trade-in, sending that card, and now we're in an interesting spot. We drew a bunch of traps. We were trying to get to the Giant Trunade, but unfortunately we did not, so we can just summon out Berserk Dragon, go into the battle phase, and the Book of Moon is not great. That is not great at all, but we do have the second one, still in the battle phase, the classic Berserk Dragon play. We can get in for 25 and some more damage, but our spot is not good at all, and adding this Battle Fader to their hand makes this game even harder to win. We set it all and pass back to the opponent. They're going to activate Mind Control on the Berserk Dragon. They normal summon the Cyber Valley, banish both, and draw 2 new cards, and then they are just going to activate Allure, banish the Trag, and then pass their turn. Allure of Darkness off the top is one of the best draws. We're going to activate that. We draw 2 new cards, banish the Cosmo Queen. We flip up this Berserk Dragon, bait out the Battle Fader, and then we can use this Advanced Draw in order to draw 2 more again. Vortex Trooper is not bad. We normal summon that, put both of them back in the deck, and there it is, the Giant Trunade. This is so good for us because now we can actually use all of our trap cards, which is not bad at all. We're just going to set all of them back yet again and pass back to our opponent. They finally do decide to activate the Cold Wave, and we can just chain all of our stuff to that Cold Wave activation, so we get 3 big guys to our side of the field. I will take it. My opponent is going to think for a little bit. They decided to set a monster and pass their turn. Unfortunately, we are still under Cold Wave. I think there's actually some cute play we could have done with this Nightmare Archfiends if we weren't under Cold Wave, but for now, we just have to go into the battle phase. We clear the monster, attack over this guy. They add the Battle Fader back to their hand, and then we can get in for 3,000. However, they do have the Gores. And now I'm deciding to think a lot in the standby phase. I'm thinking I could clog their zones with the Nightmare Archfiends, but I don't know if that would get us out of the situation. Maybe it would have been good, but they do have Heavy Storm, so it does not matter anyway. All right, game number 2. Let's see what we can do. There it is, the Vortex Trooper, and our hand's not terrible, so I just decided to set the Vortex Trooper. I don't know if this was correct, considering my history of drawing Berserk Dragon, but it just seemed right at the time, and I'm thinking at this moment, like, I can advance draw the Beast King Barbaros on the next turn and then use a Deal with Dark Ruler, so that was my logic, and have Heavy Storm, but I did it, it's fine. My opponent sets a back row and then passes their turn to us, and I'm thinking about using the Heavy Storm and then doing the play, but I'm not sure about it. And then we use this Advanced Draw. We can send the Barbaros, draw 2 new cards, Summoner's Art and Common Charity, which is not bad at all. And I'm thinking about the future of this play, and if it is a Royal Decree, I kind of have to Heavy Storm, because if they flip it in the end phase, I'm screwed. So I do Heavy Storm, but unfortunately it was the Book of Moon, which is really bad for us. So we're just going to set a couple of cards and pass our turn, and then we are going to activate this Common Charity. We can draw 2 and banish 1, and then they're going to flip up this DD Warrior Lady. They go into the battle phase, and we flip up the Escape from the Dark Dimension. However, this is when I realized my opponent is playing Twister. I love this card, but my opponent does the perfect outplay and chains it not to the activation, but to the summon. This will put the Cosmo Queen into the graveyard. Therefore, this escape is not live, and all of the cards in my hand are now dead. Honestly, I maybe should have set a Deal with Dark Ruler. Honestly, it was just a really good outplay by my opponent, and now my hand is super bricked, and I am wishing I had that Vortex Trooper. The second Deal with Dark Ruler would be good if I still had the Beast King Barbaros, but I mean, if we ever can get to a level 8 monster, this advanced draw with the 2 deals will go pretty hard, but they will just attack us for 1500 damage, and there's nothing we can do. They then set a monster and pass their turn. Solemn Judgment is not great. We can set that and pass to our opponent. They're going to attack again. There's absolutely nothing we can do. They flip to the Koichi main phase 2, pass their turn. We draw another Brick and Trihorn Dragon. They go to the battle phase, attack us for 1500 and 1400, and we are still alive. We need a really good top deck. Honestly, if we top deck Beast King Barbaros, we can literally win the game because both of our deals with Dark Rulers will be live. Unfortunately for us, we draw MST, and so we are just dead. That was a great twister outplayed by my opponent. And so Berserk Dragon continues to show up unannounced every single game. Let's talk about the deck. I think the engine naturally sends level 8s to the graveyard. The fact you can already play Skill Drain, which is an incredible Berserk Dragon card, because he just has an absurd amount of attack, 3,500 summoned out of the deck. I don't know if what Berserk Dragon needs is more bricks. It's like, sure, it works really well. I think an advanced draw styled engine is good in Berserk Dragon. Like sending Barbaros for the advanced draw and then a deal with Dark Rulers instantly live is really good. But I don't know if Berserk Dragon almost needs to be the only brick in the deck. Like, I bricked a lot, and it didn't look like Macro was bricking that much. But when you're throwing in a deal with Dark Ruler and the big boy himself, yeah, it led to so many non-games where I'm just like, huh, not much to do here. Maybe next turn. No, just another Berserk Dragon. Maybe the turn after that. And that's not a very good spot to be in when your opponent is normally playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you are just looking at them. So yeah, I'm gonna have to keep Berserk Dragon in the powerful cardboard tier. I don't even know if this is the best way to play Berserk Dragon, but then again, I don't really know what the best way is. I mean, I like my Amaryllis version that it's more of a control style of deck. I think Berserk Dragon kind of is nice in a control deck. Berserk Dragon becomes better if your opponent gets more and more monsters on their side of the field. This deck has a lot of speed. It's kind of nice if they fill up their board with 3 or 4 monsters. You summon out Berserk Dragon, clean up, stick a Titanial, and you just can stabilize a lot easier maybe in the other version. But I don't know. It's definitely an interesting take on the concept, and I'm glad that Berserk Dragon can still get some innovation. I mean, the beginning of this channel was just trying to break Berserk Dragon, and that saga continues past a year of cursed tech, so I'm so happy. Shout out again to the Macro Show. Beg him to make Edison content because he clearly has an incredible mind. I'm just excited to see what he cooks up next because, oh my god, this deck is so much fun. It's so wacky. I love it. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh is all about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.